Yo, I have completed. Oh, wait, I didn't set it up yet. I have completed Act 2, Level 7 Prototype. Cleaned up all the remaining issues with the telegraphing of the gunmen when they're about to shoot at you. And I also. Yeah, finished placing all of the enemies and setting up some obstacles and some kickable objects all over the place. And it's feeling pretty good. So let's do a quick playthrough here. See, it's nice and consistent. Oh wait, what happened there? There was one issue where when you kick an object at a guy, if he happens to shoot his gun at the last second, it would blow up the box, and that could be kind of confusing. Oh, 1 second. Do I have a... Never mind. Yeah, that could get confusing because the pace of the game is so fast, and when a box is about to hit a guy, you tend to assume that it hit him, but if he shoots his gun at the very last moment, he blows the box up and it doesn't hit him, and then he dashes away, and that could really throw you off. So I just made it that if there's a box flying at him, they won't shoot. Lots of things like that because of the pace of the game, little issues that in theory should be okay and is actually pretty cool, but in practice it doesn't work just because it's hard to read what's going on when stuff like that happens. As cool as it is, it tends to feel unfair. So, still a hard as hell level, but oh shit. If you compare it to my gameplay from yesterday, as you can see, it is a lot more predictable and readable now with the telegraphing of the gunshots and just in general the cleaning up of the kickable objects. Having access to those as well is pretty nice. Helps to simplify the fights a bit. Same with the few obstacles like this one added here and there to help break up the fight a bit. But it is still quite challenging. Oh, got clowned on. Damn it. Wow, bro. Okay, I got it this time for sure. Okay. This time for sure. Yeah, get on my level, boys. Shit. Oh, get the fuck out. What was that? That guy reacted a little too fast for my liking there. Oh my god, dude. That guy is fucking... Actually, hold on. Does he... Yeah, because he walks up here and here. Yeah, okay. I guess that's fair. That's kind of what I wanted it to be. It's just fucking hard. Hold on, let me get the, yeah, here we go. Bro, that guy, oh my god. Oh. Dude, get it together, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Alright. So, done with that. And finally, I blocked out the layout for level 2-8, the last gameplay level for Act 2, preceding the boss fight. As you can see, I went with something quite linear for this design. So, what I really like about this act is I feel like in the game's first act, the enemies are simple enough, and you're just getting your bearings, that to make it more interesting, it needed more variety in the level design and the different paths you can take and stuff like that. But in Act 2, I find that the complexity of the enemies themselves is already adds so much what's the word? Dynamism? Dynamicness? Dynamism? Is this a word? I feel like there's a word and I just can't think of it. Dynamism? Is that a word? Dynamism? The dynamism. Okay, it doesn't mean what I think it means, but okay, I think dynamicness is maybe what I'm going for. Anyway, I feel like the enemies in the second act have this, this complexity and this dynamicness to them naturally, that it makes for really fun and interesting fights. And it's more fun to have wide open spaces, and just the fighting is so much fun inherently. I feel like that it doesn't need as much complexity, I think, in terms of the paths and stuff. So in this act in general, I've tended to leaning towards less obstacles, less kickable objects, and more linearity, just because the fighting itself is so much fun. So I thought to really push it to the limit, as the finale of the act, I would just do a straight up linear 12 rooms in a row straight to the boss fight sequence. And so yeah, I came up with this design. Now, the other thing I was thinking about aesthetically is that for the bosses for this act, that they're kind of like more gangster mafia club oriented. So I was imagining a scene that's essentially you going through kind of like a big club, and these two are going to be waiting for you, the two bosses, in the far back room. So I felt like it was appropriate for that reason as well. So there you have it. And then while I was working on this, I did have one other idea that occurred to me that I thought could be kind of cool, maybe. This tower idea. Because I was thinking how this is now taking place in the city in the game, and you have some of these high-rise buildings. So I was thinking it might be neat to have a level that's just like a constantly spiraling series of rooms that just keep going up and up and up. So just messing around with it, I started making this little test level. I don't know if I'm really going to do it, if it adds anything. It's kind of cool visually. I don't know. But I also don't know where I would fit it in now, since I've already finished all the other levels for this act. I did at one point have this idea. Let me put this volume down. I did at one point have this idea of having like an additional secret level that you could do in the game based on some narrative choice that you make at some point. So maybe this could be it, just for the sake of the fun of it, because yeah, I don't know, I feel like it is kind of neat just climbing up the steps in a straight linear level, kind of like the finale level, but going up and up instead of all the way horizontally. Fuck off. Well, anyway, it's a little too short right now to get a real feel for it, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So let me go ahead and submit that. Okay. And then let me... Looks like we need to update this. The source control. There you go. And that's it for tonight. So all that's left is, yeah, that last level. Maybe do that spiral level as a cool extra for fun. And I'm hoping to have, and then after that it's just the boss fight, right? So, and I already think I know what I want to do for the boss fight. I had this idea of doing a 2-phase fight where the first half is a skirmish, somewhat similar to the first boss fight, where you go back and forth for maybe 15-20 seconds or something. You just have to survive it. And then I was thinking for the second phase, Damien is the name of the boss that you'll be fighting there, that he's going to stop the fight and be like, wait, I got another idea, and you guys will do a back and forth tennis match style where you have to parry a bullet back and forth between each other, and it just keeps getting faster and faster until eventually one of you gets hit. I thought that'd be a fun idea and very fitting for the theme of this particular act. And yeah, I don't think that'll take me more than a few days, so I'm hoping to have that done by Sunday night. Now I do have the Streetlight Manifesto concert that I'm going to Sunday night, so I might not have enough time to finish it, but surely Monday night at the latest. And I will have all of the prototyping for Act 2 complete. I'll get Amanda to start working on the production of the art assets for the act, and I can get started on Act 3. And even though I had a few days of no productivity over the past couple weeks, I'm still basically on schedule. I was hoping to have Act 2 done by end of October, so it looks like I'm more or less going to make it, and shouldn't have a problem finishing up Act 3 for November. And yeah, and then December we'll just be putting all the art assets together, hopefully, and see how it goes from there. And hopefully, fingers crossed, going into the new year, we'll have pretty much the whole game, all art assets complete and fully playable from start to finish. Of course, there's still a hell of a lot of work to do on dialogue and voice acting and the music soundtrack and balancing everything, and then some extra stuff like a credit screen and maybe like an end game mode, like an endless mode I had an idea for. So still lots of stuff to do after that, but pretty cool to get to a point where the core of the game is 100% finished and that the whole thing is playable from start to finish, you know? So really exciting stuff. I'll probably continue making these videos up until I finish the second act, so up until I guess Monday night, and I'll probably wrap it up at that point, to be honest, and start getting back into the promotional campaign that I had been talking about doing since, I want to say September, like early September. I was talking about that so much, and I still have the videos here that I was experimenting with and everything. So yeah, I want to wrap this up soon and just get back to making not the exact same kind of videos I used to make, but still more proper promotional videos, but with a new format. And I'm looking forward to that as well. That's pretty much it. Happy with the productivity I've got going on now. I'm not quite back to 100% yet, but I am doing better. And, well, it's all looking up from here. At least that's what it looks like from my current point of view. So, let's see what happens next.